Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. Back by unpopular
She's
demand.
back.
Me.
She's back. You're back from your vacation in Houston, is this correct?
Yeah, definitely a vacation.
You know who else is back?
Grev.
The recruiting director of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Greg Powers.
You all can see me getting my mic right in that.
I know. Yeah, it killed a little bit of the suspense of, like, who is it? And they saw your, like, big paw, and they were like, oh, that's got yeah, exactly right. Do you have big hands? You do have kind of big hands.
I got medium-sized hands, I guess I would say. Medium to large. You got long fingers.
I
got
have
long
big
fingers.
hands.
I've got long, skinny hands.
My thumb is abnormal.
I was going to say something.
Like,
I will say something.
I am not losing
Your
a thumb war.
proportions, generally speaking,
Are lanky.
you are long. Like,
Yeah.
I can see why they've got the statue of you outside the Llano basketball arena.
They don't have
Like,
a statue of me.
I can, like, you've got that kind of length. You are our Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Just say Wemby.
Wembanyama.
You're our
no,
Wemby.
No.
Speaking of that, tonight,
because I had to learn
Spurs versus Mavs.
I had to learn
Va.
how to say Giannis's last name, Antetokounmpo. And so it feels like Wembanyama is going to stick around. You know, God willing, the creek don't
Wemby.
rise. And so I probably need to learn how to say his name too. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Victor, unless you get Victor Wembanyama. Have you heard the speaking of our favorite basketball players? How do you say Luka's last name?
Doncic.
I think people say Doncic. Maybe we've had this conversation before.
I don't think we have.
I think it is technically like Doncic. Like, I think the O is such. The reason I say that is if you go back to draft night, Adam Silver pronounces it like Doncic, and he is usually really like a stickler about getting those names right.
I don't think there's anything different between Doncic and Doncic. That's literally just an accent, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
because it's still creating an O sound.
I don't know. What if I called you Ashley?
Well, then you'd just be weird.
Well, I'm just saying. Like,
Also,
what if
you'd
you
be
think
from the East Coast.
Yeah,
you
honestly.
would be from the East Coast. What is like you have for a guy who is not like a native Southerner, right? Or I don't know. I don't want to get. I'm not interested in a is Texas the South conversation. That's not a conversation I'm interested in.
Okay.
But as somebody who's not from this neck of the woods originally,
True.
you have a pretty good Southern accent.
You think?
I think so.
I'm like I'm the melting pot of
Pickle, am I wrong?
America.
I feel like he sounds more Southern than you do.
Oh yes,
I don't
absolutely.
feel like I could ever
And
tell that you were from Texas.
Yeah,
if
I'm a
didn't
native
know.
Texan, and like people, I get that look a lot of like, you.
Yeah,
You're from
Coppell did not
Texas?
teach you
Here's a
your
hot take.
Texas slang very well.
I didn't
It's-
grow up in Coppell
It's
though.
not.
Yeah, a little bit.
DeSoto.
Is there a small town accent? You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh,
Like,
now there's definitely like different Texas accents. Do you know what I mean? Like
not
you
even
go-
different Texas accents, but you just have a different way
you
to
mean
talk
like
if
Yes.
you're
you're
from a small town.
if you're
Can
from
confirm.
Cleburne versus if
Yeah.
you're from Austin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that. I think so. Yeah, because you.
Because even when I go back home, I now notice it in other people.
Yes.
Like, I don't notice myself most of the time. But
There's-
mine comes out really
there's
bad.
times when it'll come out. There was.
But I do notice it when I go back home and talk to other people.
I give our friend, all of our mutual friend, Erin Hardigan, I give her trouble because there was a couple of years ago when Dairy Queen was a sponsor of Football Friday.
Okay.
And so you have to read billboards beforehand. They record it, which is basically the things that go in and out of breaks where it says, Football Friday is brought to you by whatever. And Dairy Queen was a sponsor. And I swear to you, Erin Hardigan, who's from Nebraska,
Yeah.
okay, not the South.
The Midwest.
Although she claims at every turn, she's like, oh, yeah, but I went to college in Canyon. So I'm like true Texan. Oh, my gosh, she brings that up all the time.
that does help.
All that's to say,
Yeah, but you can't be a true Texan.
on this billboard, she goes, Football Friday brought to you by Dairy Queen. And she, like, drops into, like, the most stolen valor Southern accent I've ever heard. I give her trouble for that all the time. Dairy Queen.
Why is Dairy Queen? We had Dairy Queen when I was a kid growing up in the Midwest.
Yeah, no, Dairy Queen is not a Texas specific. Though the Texas.
I do think of some Texas high school football though when I think of it.
That's what I like about Texas.
It's like if it like
that doesn't work with like Idaho.
It's DQ. Like
That's
you gotta
what
have,
I like about Idaho. Like it doesn't work.
Are there Dairy Queens in Idaho?
I don't know.
What's
I've
it?
actually never been to Idaho.
I've
That's
never
one of the
been
few
to
states
What
that
is
I have not
What
been.
is in Idaho? Like
Potatoes.
Okay. Like I mean,
I'm not wrong.
like what is there? There's got to be some sort of thing like the way that we are about our proud sponsor.
Are they like
Whataburger.
Culver's? Maybe. Why does that feel right? I pulled that completely out of thin air.
Like where do
There are Dairy Queens in Idaho.
there are?
Yes.
Okay,
Where do
well,
Boise State like when Boise State students are out late?
Mm-hmm.
Where do they go? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there like a place? We need to call.
I
somebody in
honestly feel like
Boise.
there's not a lot of states that have that like Whataburger type thing where it's very, very regionally specific. Like there.
Yeah, we're
aren't-
probably just spoiled here as Texans.
Yeah, because I mean, most of the time, what you think about is you think about like regions, like Bojangles is in the South, you know,
Yeah.
or like White Castle. Like it's all kind of like spread throughout other states.
Well, but like,
Can't get your hands on a good White Castle around here. I can tell you that.
No, you
cannot.
can't. You're a big
No.
White Castle guy, aren't
I
you?
like them.
But you're from Ohio, so up there you're sucking on a chili dog.
You ruined it, man. You ruined it. Pickle, we've got a nice song for you. We can't play songs on because our
No.
show will get flagged.
Yeah, we.
But I picked out your theme music for your dinner tonight already while you were in
Oh,
here.
does everyone know that we're having chili dogs tonight?
Yeah.
Is that like very public knowledge?
Mallory announced it. So Mallory.
Oh
if
my
you-
God,
If you're
yeah.
if you're a longtime viewer of Texas football today, which means you tuned in Monday, Mallory told her story about making her chili. You've had the chili,
I have.
And?
It's good.
Yeah, it's
she
good?
did a really good job.
but she made a lot of it.
She did make a lot of it.
And
I'm
and then
having
she
it
said,
for
"You know what
lunch
we're having
today."
for dinner tonight? Chili dogs." And then Powers just pulls up Jack and Diane because it's got the worst lyric in music history,
Yes.
which is "Suck it on a chili dog."
Sucking on a chili dog.
It's
They doubled down on it.
Yeah, that seems unnecessary.
it's so bad for an otherwise pretty good song, right? You know.
Is
Okay.
it?
Okay.
I'm
Your
gonna
mileage
do-
may vary.
I gotta say, when Mallory posted an Instagram story of her cooking and watching baseball, I was shocked. I was like, I had to triple check 14 times because she doesn't cook and she doesn't watch baseball. So I was like, I texted her. I was like, "Are you okay? Like, are you being held hostage?"
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, it's
Weird.
It's a tweet that'll go viral like once a year of like, if you had to send a tweet, but it had to look normal, but would signal to people that something was wrong.
It was that
what would you do?
Instagram
Yeah,
story.
it was
I
that
was like,
Instagram
I
story.
left for like 3 days and you broke. Like, what happened?
No.
And she was listening to country music, which
Nice.
I think I'm slowly breaking.
Nothing
her.
wrong with that.
We
No.
we powered this transition
Yeah, you
Correct.
just gotta
on the ride to and from Stephenville.
You just have
Yes.
to expose them to good country music.
Right.
Because I think the problem is that most country music that you hear on the radio is garbage.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Oh, well, yeah. You can't listen to that.
You can't
No.
listen to radio country music. But like if you go to somebody who likes country music, music, and they will play you what they like, you'll realize, "Oh, there's like a lot of good stuff out here."
Quick sidebar.
Uh-huh.
The chili dog invented in Los Angeles.
I would not have guessed that.
Whoa, you could have given me like 100 guesses. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Oh, I mean Ohio. Like Ohio feels like
Yeah.
a natural fit.
Chili
Like
dog,
like
yeah.
Cincinnati, you know what I mean?
Art
Um,
Art Elkind claims to have invented the chili dog in 1939 out in Los Angeles.
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that wouldn't have guessed that. I like chili dogs though. I'm excited for dinner tonight.
Anyway, get yourself a chili dog. Hit the VM Expo. Pickle. Hit the arid sign. Yes, y'all. From Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today. A big John Mellencamp fan. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you'll listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, back by popular demand. She's the Dutch of the Dorks, Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends.
You've been Miss, what's a Houston area code? 703?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been Miss Houston recently.
Yeah. Miss Third Ward.
Miss Third Ward. And sitting to my right, he's the director of recruiting for Dave Campbell's Texas Football, our good friend,
Greg
Powers.
What's up, y'all?
How are you?
Good.
Welcome back.
Week 10.
Week 10.
Can you believe it?
Holy cow.
I can. I'm tired, but not of football. I'm just tired generally.
There were a lot of big games this week.
This is a shocking slate of games.
Oh, it rocks.
Yeah, it's really good.
TexanLive.com. Go to it.
Today is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. 29 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday, Powers. You can wish a happy birthday to somebody turning 39 today, or you can wish happy birthday to somebody turning 52.
39.
Happy birthday to Katy Perry.
Nice.
Oh,
Katy
nice.
Perry is 39. Happy birthday, Katy Perry. It's episode 1679. On today's show, folks, we got This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers. We're going to be breaking down the hottest prospects across the state of Texas, if you stick with us. And then back half the show, Powers caught up with Stephenville wide receiver Tristian Gentry, a Texas Tech commit.
Yep.
Texas Tech commit. There's a pipeline there. Stephenville wide receivers to Texas Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coy Aiken was last.
They've got a type. So we will hear from Tristian Gentry, the Stephenville wide receiver, coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was jersey number 69, Big Jiggly Water Balloons, Daniel Agnew, and Casey McLaughlin. Welcome in, friends.
Hi. Thanks, guys. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
In Cruton.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Our Mountain. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He has fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express! When you get the yellow box, you know that it rocks.
That's
Pretty good,
actually
right?
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Not
I don't have nothing to add to
We can
that.
do
Like,
I
that's like
think
a quitter.
pretty good.
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
do,
one of your better
a little
ones.
fade. Hit it. It's This Week in Recruiting, our director with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting. A lot to get to on this week's program. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Yeah.
Yep.
Prospect on the rise. Go to Pflugerville. Talk about Pflugerville Weiss 2024 defensive tackle Chad Otutu. Chad Otutu is a name to know in this senior class, a guy who is starting to catch fire in his recruiting. Committed this week to UNLV.
we didn't commit this week. He's been committed.
He's been committed.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been committed to UNLV. He's our prospect on the rise because even though UNLV's having a nice little year.
Yeah,
they are
especially
having a nice
recruiting
year.
Texas.
Yes, recruiting Texas. You think that Chad Otutu is becoming a hot commodity among the recruiting world, and you would not be surprised if some bigger offers are coming in, including he got an offer from a Power 5 school this week.
Yeah, Arizona stepped up and offered him, and thank goodness they did because it gave me the opportunity to speak about Chad Otutu. When I went on Texas Football Tonight a couple weeks back, Pflugerville Weiss was one of our spotlight games, and I had a chance to really dive in to watching a lot. I mean, really, I watched every Pflugerville Weiss game that they played this year. Chad Otutu is a force to be reckoned with. This dude, I mean, defensive tackles shouldn't make plays the way that he does.
Yeah.
He's very quick off the ball. He's a constant disruption. Not only a guy that can plug gaps and stop the run, he makes a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. He has one of those motors that doesn't quit. He chases like the ball carrier out to the perimeter, runs all around the field. Like I just keep waiting for a Tutu to run out of energy during the game, and it seems like he never does. And Pflugerville Weiss is in the middle of a monstrous season this year. Like they are really, really good. And there are guys on that squad that have been getting a lot of attention, you know, namely Peyton Morgan, who's committed to Texas Tech, and Adrian Wilson, who's committed to Oregon. You know, Jaquez Bradley-Dimps, he's a North Texas commit. Not enough people talking about Chad Atutu, and his play up front has really freed up some other guys to make plays within that defense. Low Jerkin, a defensive end, started picking up interest as well. As a matter of fact, Jerkin picked up his first P5 offer from Georgia Tech this week. So things are going pretty good over at Pflugerville Weiss, and Chad Atutu is a guy who I think UNLV is really going to have to battle down to the wire for, because he plans on taking trips to Arizona and Arizona State, and those are tough schools for UNLV to beat in the P5 ranks.
He is a name to know. There is Chad Atutu. And yeah, Pflugerville Weiss having a fantastic year, undefeated, a great opportunity to finish 10-0 and be a real force, I think, in Region 3. So keep an eye on Pflugerville Weiss there and their star defensive tackle, Chad Atutu.
You can watch him on TexanLive.com.
What?
Every week.
Since when?
Yeah.
Let's get to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, going back up the DFW Metroplex to go to Hearst, to LD Bell, senior defensive tackle, big defensive tackle week.
Yep.
Tristian Johnson, who flipped this week from UTSA to TCU. We have him as the number 10 defensive tackle in the class of 2024. Nice little flip here for Sonny Dykes and company, flipping him from UTSA, where he had been committed for a hot minute.
I really like Tristian Johnson. He's one of these players, and you can go ahead and check out the story if you're a TCU fan, texasfootball.com/recruiting. We have comments from Tristian Johnson on his flip, comments from Coach Dibble there at LD Bell about what he brings to the table and how he transformed himself from a dude on the team into a top P5 prospect, and he did it with a lot of hard work. He's an excellent student off the field as well, student athlete, true student athlete at LD Bell, who, you know, it's not fair to like call somebody. Football's changing in such a way that it's hard to just like pin somebody down as defensive tackle anymore, right? Really, Tristian Johnson is a defensive lineman. He plays defensive end in Bell's 3-4 scheme. Usually is a run-stopping force within that defense, but he's got a quick first step. He really passes the eyeball test. His physique is super impressive. He looks like, the Incredible Hulk walking around. Very well-spoken and well-mannered prospect. Rooting nothing but the best for Tristian Johnson as he gets to realize his dream of playing at TCU, of course, right down the street from LD Bell, not too far away from that high school campus where his family and friends can come and watch him every Saturday.
Yeah, it's a nice little flip here for TCU, who's a program that historically has done good things with versatile defensive linemen, guys that they can move around, play him at a 3-tech, play him outside, play him, probably not put him at a nose, but put him, interior. Like, you can put him kind of everywhere and he'll make an impact.
Yeah, I wouldn't, just to be honest with you don't get to see it a whole lot on this tape. I think Tristian Johnson is one of those guys who can stand up, too. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's a new era versatile defensive lineman who you're going to move around to create mismatches, whether that's lining him up as a true defensive tackle, lining him up as an end where he can rush the passer, or maybe even standing up and running around. He moves tremendously well. Tough week, though, for UTSA. UTSA lost the commitment from Tristian Johnson, who flipped to TCU, and they also lost a commitment from Mount Vernon's tackling machine, Boone Morris, who flipped his commitment from UTSA to Kansas State. So rough week for UTSA, who does honestly, they do a tremendous job in the evaluation process, but now you're starting to see they got to be able to hold on to those guys down the stretch. So a tough week there for the Roadrunners on the recruiting trail.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Let's roll on to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week going to Denton Ryan to talk about their junior offensive lineman, Marcus Garcia, who has picked up new offers this week from TCU, Baylor, and Louisville. He already offers for places like UTSA and Texas Tech. And he is part of a junior class of 2025 there at Denton Ryan that is shaping up to be pretty special. Yeah,
they have a lot of dudes. I mean, their bookend tackles are Marcus Garcia and Ty Haywood, who, I'm just saying it, they'll both – Ty Haywood's already a 4-star. Marcus Garcia will be a 4-star eventually. He reminds me, actually, you're going to like this, Tep. He reminds me a lot of former Coppell star Connor Williams. That's the name that, it jumped out right away as soon as I saw him. He not only looks like Connor did whenever Connor was a junior. You remember Connor played a little bit of tight end before he finally settled in on the offensive front, so he's very athletic. That's who Garcia reminded me of instantly. They look the same. They carry themselves the same in the pads. They have a similar blocking style, very consistent. Connor was one of those guys who would trick you with his athleticism, because he was a pretty big-bodied dude, or he is a big-bodied dude now playing for the Dolphins. Very athletic. That's how Garcia is. Garcia is a guy that looks like he could add and hold and play at over 300 pounds and retain his athleticism and agility on the football field, and I think that's why you're going to see a lot of colleges pop for him once they get a chance to look at this tape. I think pretty much anybody that's getting a chance to see him's offer. I gave him my non-existent offer within 5 minutes of being at the Denton Ryan game.
Thank you for doing that, Powers. I appreciate that. But, yeah, he's a guy who, again – is going to be part of what's there's going to be a lot of traffic on 35 through Denton Ryan the next couple next 18 months or so, and Marcus Garcia will be one of those guys that they are keeping an eye out for. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Saxe junior wide receiver Kalik Lockett. Kalik Lockett has joined the ranks of the DCTF 4-star.
Let's go.
Class of 2025. Picked up an offer from LSU. He's got 15 offers. Places like TCU, Tech, Michigan, Nebraska. But he's a new 4-star, and he is part of a shocking group of receivers.
It's
in
ridiculous.
Class of 2025.
Really, within the top 50, there are 20 legitimate candidates.
Yeah.
20. Maybe
crazy.
I could cut it down to 15, but I think we've already got around 15 slated to be in the top 50. So there are guys that are going to be ticked whenever they're not a 4. But it is what it is, right? You have to draw those lines. And here at DCTF, if you're in the top 50, you're a 4-star, and if you're number 51, you're a 3-star, and that's just the rules. We just got to play by the rules that we've been given, right? That's all we can do. But Kalik Lockett is going to be within that top 50 because he is a deep ball winner with great athleticism. He emerged on the scene at Saxe as a freshman, and that's hard to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to play at that level and at a high level. He put up good numbers as a freshman there. I'm going to be honest, right? Because that's the way I like to roll.
I do like you when you're honest.
I wasn't sold 100% on Lockett as a 4-star until I had a chance to see him and evaluate him in person, and then that athleticism. It's really short area athleticism. To be a guy that can play over the top of defenses, you not only have to possess good hands and concentration, you have to be able to go over the top of another athletic guy and be able to make plays better than him.
Yes.
He's one of those guys who consistently makes plays over the top of defenders, and that's what makes him so special. And his numbers this year speak to that production. 900 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 24 yards a catch, so he's highly productive as well.
He's a name to know, Kalik Lockett, the newest DCTF 4-star. One of the guys that is always a DCTF 5-star is Greg Powers, our director of
Let's
recruiting.
go.
Dave
Correct.
Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around because I need you to tell me who you talked to.
Okay, I'll do it.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, Stephenville wide receiver Tristian Gentry talks about his Texas Tech commitment. But first, please enjoy these ads.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Powers, you were out in the big country.
Yeah. Good game. Stephenville, China Spring. After the game, we caught up with who I thought was the player of the game, and that's Stephenville wide receiver Tristian Gentry, who's a dude. He is a dude. Very
Capital D dude?
Capital D dude. He's very
Dude's
shifty.
rock?
He's very shifty. He's quick in and out of his cuts. And you guys mentioned Coy Aiken whenever you were talking about Stephenville.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the players he patterns his game after, although they are vastly different receivers. And he had another pick, too, for one of the top guys in the league who he likes to pattern his game after. And I guessed it before he told me.
Here's Stephenville wide receiver Tristian Gentry and the soothsaying Greg Powers on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And I'm out here at Stephenville High School at Tarleton, man. This is a beautiful place to play y'all's high school games, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Knocked off China Spring, man. A lot of doubters coming into this game, but y'all silenced them with a good offensive performance. You hauled in a couple of long catches. Just kind of talk about the win tonight. What was it like picking up a win with your brothers out there on the field?
Well, we just come in and play like a team, just doing the best we can, just win a ball game.
Look, Stephenville's known for the ground and pound, right?
Sure.
But you kind of bring a different element to this offense. Is there a receiver that you look up to pattern your game after it all? I mean, I'm going to pick one and see if you like it. Kind of remind me a little bit of Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah, I watch him all the time.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That was a good pick on my part.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else out there that you feel like that you kind of like pattern yourself after?
NFL or college?
Either one, man, either one.
I'll probably say Coy Aiken.
Okay.
He's my idol in high school.
Well, I mean, he's a lot of people in Stephenville's idol, right? Like state championship winner, big-time dude.
Sir.
Like him, I mean, you're going on to play college at the next level, earn some cool scholarship offers, but you got one that you really like.
Yeah.
You picked Texas Tech. What was it about the Red Raiders that really jumped out to you, popped out to you, that made you feel comfortable enough to pull the trigger?
Well, I got friends over there and like people that can help me, and I just like everything about it. The coaches, energy, everything.
Everybody always talks about Joey McGuire whenever you talk about Texas Tech. I mean, he was a former Texas high school football coaching legend himself. Does he still have that swag, that thing that makes high school players feel comfortable when they're around him?
Always energy.
Talk about Juice Johnson, okay? What makes him so successful? I was down meeting with Micah Hudson last week, kind of talking to him about his commitment, and he mentioned his name a lot. What is it about Coach Juice that really makes the recruits that are around him want to play for him?
He's just a fun guy. He brings a lot of energy to the team, and I just like him.
Now, I know you picked one of your guys, Coy Aiken, won a state ring here.
Yes, sir.
I know that you guys have your eye on the prize to win a state championship as well. Some big games left in front of you. What does the team have to do to like take care of business and potentially bring one home?
You just got to play as a team. That's all. Feature working is one. That's all.
What can fans in Lubbock expect out of you once you arrive on campus? Like, what's that one thing that you're bringing to the table they should like be excited about?
Speed.
There you heard it from the man himself right there, Tristian Gentry, bringing speed to that Texas Tech offense. Got a couple of guys that he looks up to in Garrett Wilson and Coy Aiken. Thanks for the time and good luck with the rest of your junior season. And, of course, when you get to college in a couple years from now as well.
Yes, sir. See you.
Tristian Gentry, Stephenville wide receiver, Texas Tech commit, and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
I can see
comparison.
him. Yeah.
I was even more impressed, like, as we were watching the interview that you don't notice. We noticed it when he was playing in the game, but just like him standing there, he has long arms.
He's long.
That like you're born to be a pass catcher when you have those type of long arms that can help you with your catch radius. Especially, I project him more of probably like a slot wide receiver. I didn't want to bust out like Ryan Broyles, right? Like Ryan Broyles was too much of a blast from a pass.
Yeah.
For somebody like Tristian Gentry, but that's who he reminds me of, a guy who can play outside in or inside out at that wide receiver position. Texas Tech got a good one.
He's a playmaker, so keep an eye on him. Tristian Gentry, the Stephenville wide receiver, just a junior. So, and they're rolling right now. Big win over China Spring.
Their defense was really, really impressive. They put constant pressure on Cash McCollum all night long. Really, what I thought they did a good job of is they made China Spring very one-dimensional.
Their defensive line looked great.
I think, and I mentioned this on Monday, I am really impressed with Sterling Doty's job of just flipping that team. Because you remember last year, the book on Stephenville was they can score, they just can't stop anybody. And now you can make a real argument that their defense is better than their offense. And their offense ain't bad. Like, their offense has got guys like Tristian Gentry and playmakers. But, like, this is a really impressive kind of program flip there that I think they've done a great job with.
I had a great time at the game. I think Tarleton's a great venue for high school football.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
and we got to see our friends Drake Toll and Cameron Stewart with the China Spring broadcast.
Yeah, they were broadcasting the game from the spot where I first scouted Jakeem Grant.
Oh.
So back
speaking of Texas
me
Tech,
and Matt Stepp shared that press box probably back in 2008 and got to watch Mesquite Horn at that time, and Jakeem Grant to this day.
One of the fastest players you've ever seen.
He's definitely accelerates more quickly than any other player that I've ever covered. Like, his short area explosion, unbelievable. Yeah. He was a dude.
Yeah, most certainly. Anyway, we appreciate Tristian Gentry's time. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Oh, wait, first, before we do that, not Final Thoughts. Coming up here in just a moment, an explosive episode of Final Thoughts. But first, let's hear from our partners. Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. In addition, each honoree must be born in Texas, graduate from a Texas high school, or play at a Texas-based junior college or Division I Texas college. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com. And now, let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
Coming up at 2 o'clock today, Mallory Hartley, Carter Braylon Yates, and Ishmael Johnson are talking college football. Big week of college football coming up on ROF. You can watch it wherever you're watching this show right now.
Including tonight. UTEP at Sam Houston.
Da-da-da.
On ESPN2.
That's Wednesday night football for y'all keeping track at home.
Wednesday.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Tristian Gentry of Stephenville for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle and Greg Powers, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. I heard you are at the same place as Pickle this weekend.
Yeah, I yelled at him. Still didn't come get his trophy. My dad was there to confirm that I yelled, though.
Been 8 years. Come get it.
Not
We'll
cool.
see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.